Hey, there you are. Welcome back. This is the most disturbing videos on the internet today. Let's dive in.
Under the waves is where we belong.
What in the world is going on here? The substance that Jesus turned water into wine. Yeah, right. It looks like they got some mercury in there, doesn't it? That doesn't look like no wine. Look at those symbols. I'm trying to make it out. That's not cuneiform. There's some type of black magic. Some type of Solomon. I wouldn't open it. That's for sure. It looks like it's got a cork. But look at how it glows red. That's the crazy part. The knob at the top. Guys, what is this? Some type of elixir, maybe? This has to be some type of a magical elixir. And look what they have here. A ring from the time of the prophet of Solomon. It almost looks Arabic. Arabian Nights. Braille? Why? Did they have to remember spells or something? Is that why they got that on the ring? What was they fighting back in the day? That's the only reason I can think of why you would need something on a ring. Spells. This is a mini spell book. Guys, by the looks of it, this looks like a mini spell book that you would put on your ring. You know what I'm saying? Why else would you need it? I wonder what it says. Can anybody transcribe this? The caption reads, "What could this interesting thing be found?" I have no idea. Maybe it looks like some type of ornament, maybe, or a pendant. But the lady looks like she's riding a lion. What if that's like a dragon bone? That's not your normal type of bone, is it? It's got a fish on top of a lion. And look at this. This isn't your normal bone, is it? It's almost like this is some type of pendant, and in the middle it looks like it's some type of rare animal bone. Like some type of mythical creature bone. If you ask me, when have we seen a green bone? This could be a dragon bone, guys.
How is it that you can find us if we don't have DNA? Well, I don't know. You do realize your heartbeat has a frequency signature that is only yours, right? No. How would they do that? I don't know. Apparently everybody believes it's their phone's heartbeat that we're measuring. You know, your phone has a heartbeat. You didn't know that? Yeah. It's called an algorithm. Because your phone doesn't have a heartbeat. Your phone has an algorithm. Little chipset in your phone isn't going dun-dun, 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 with all the vasculature blood flow that makes noise. When your blood flows through your veins, it makes sound. Your ears don't hear it. But there are plenty of other pieces of equipment and sensors that do hear it. Oh, yeah.
That's terrifying. Why would they keep that type of equipment hidden from us? Starfish Prime. Oh no. I'm not talking Optimus Prime. This ain't Autobots. If anything, this is Decepticons.
Dominic began. A series of 31 straight up into the sky to test how high humans can actually reach. They quickly figured out not far at all.
It seems that whenever they were shooting these missiles up into the sky, they were actually interacting with different layers of this plasma field or this electromagnetic phenomena, and it seems to have fluid-like properties. As it actually hits a certain portion of this force field, if you will, it begins to disperse and seek equilibrium based on the impedance of the electromagnetic layers.
Why is it when we review this footage that these things are exploding? It looks like they're hitting a barrier.
Testing the strength of the firmament, and they weren't able to penetrate it.
What's going on there? What is this? In my opinion, I think that they were trying to find a way to possibly get out.
Look at this view. Look at this sundog that they got off the horizon. Like, this is actual footage inside a ship. Like, I don't know if you guys saw that. I don't know who is flying this or where this is, but this is actual footage inside something. And it looks like they don't even have a fisheye. Now, moving forward, there was something also very interesting I wanted to point out. Look at this bloom. You know, it's almost like a ripple effect, like a giant splash into the waters. You know? Like it said, it got as high as it possibly could. And then, wait for it, splash. It got as high as it possibly could. And you can see the main pressure points. This is fascinating. I wish we can get a side view and see what it looks like on the side. And this is definitely fascinating stuff. No, you can't get through unless you Enoch with some chariots. That's the only way, if you ask me. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to slap that like and subscribe button. Find that notification bell icon wherever it's at and click notifications to all so you get notified right when I post and you don't miss a video. Now let's get straight back into the action. If you thought I didn't have an excellent specimen for you today, think again. We have a purple octahedral fluoride cluster which has a secondary growth of blue fluoride on the surface. The color is very good, a new variety of fluoride from China. Yeah. It's almost changing colors. Oh yeah, you got the deep purples that go to like a cyan and then to a turquoise. Definitely an interesting piece that you would really need to shine some light through it so you can see the true varieties of this octahedral. If I had to name this exquisite piece, I would call this Sea Night Octahedral.
While exploring a sunken wreck off the coast of Greece, deep sea divers uncovered something bizarre. The ship's hull, etched with strange, ancient symbols no one can identify. The markings don't match any known language, and some experts fear they may not even be human. While exploring a sunken wreck off the coast...
So who was sailing? Aliens? Draco reptilians?
A man in the 1920s figured out how the pyramids were built, and he built this 1,100-ton complex with no heavy machinery, no power tools or anything like that. This guy, Edward Lee Skalnin, built this place called Coral Castle in Florida. And he figured out that the people who built the pyramids and other ancient sites used magnetism. They also used sound frequencies. It's not difficult if you know how. That's what he's saying. And he figured out how the pyramids were built. And so this Coral Castle place, this whole place was built with magnetism, apparently. He wrote a book called The Magnetic Current, which explains that magnetism, not gravity, causes things to move. So how he was able to move 1,100 tons worth of stones without any power tools or any assistance is because he was able to get the sound frequencies of the stones, plus using magnetism to create a anti-gravity field to move things around very easily. So Obviously, a normal man can't move these stones. 1,100 tons worth of stones without any tech, any advanced tech, or any assistance. There has to be some abilities or something else he has access to, which he did. Here are some quotes from Lee Skoughton, the guy who created this coral castle. He says, "I have discovered the secrets of the pyramids and have found out how the Egyptians and ancient builders of Peru, Yucatan, and Asia, with only primitive tools, raised and set in place blocks of stone weighing many tons." Another quote from him. "If you had a way to disrupt the magnetic flow, you could move large weights with little effort." So the mainstream told us that they built the pyramids by people hand chiseling rocks out of the mountainside and dragging those rocks, with trees as wheels and dragging them up ramps to build the pyramid all the way up like that by hand. Meanwhile, this gentleman right here figured it out. He figured it out. He accessed the old information that was hidden away and was able to build this 1,100-ton complex by himself. Like, he built a literal castle. And he had a bed in there. He slept in there and everything. He lived in there. One night, some kids were spying on Lee Skoughton as he was building this coral castle. And they reported that they saw him moving these huge stones, these huge tons worth of stones, like they were balloons in the air, moving them with barely any effort, levitating. So why doesn't the mainstream tell us about this? How come these construction crews aren't using magnetism to move stuff around? All this heavy machinery and all this stuff we got. That's because the Rockefeller and them, the people who created the system that we live in, they want us to work hard. Think about all the things that they're hiding.
That's not funny. But he just straight up said they want you to work hard. They do want you to work hard, man. That is... Or he could have made the entire story up back in 1930s. They might have said, all right, we're just going to say you made all this, and that way you can own it all. Because it's not like they had pictures of him building it like before and after. We always have pictures of everything already assembled, which is an indicator that he possibly could have found that entire coral castle, which I believe you can go there in Florida. I plan on checking it out one day. It looks beautiful. I would just fall asleep and just watch that. Look at the fish below enjoying that. They need a little bit more room. I wonder if they can go under that, but this is an amazing setup. You got the moss. That's real moss. I believe that's real rock. This is a very nice tank. Very nice aquascape terrarium setup. Then we have a couple more. Wow. Look at these. It's like there's a whole different world under these. How cool are these? The mini cave. Puffy's Aquascapes. Huge shout out to him for this incredible work, making a cave below it. That's a great idea.
This lady's calling out America, saying our strawberries aren't real. Even compares their strawberries to ours. Now, I don't know if this is real or fake fruit, but is a strawberry really supposed to look like that? Watch the video until the end, comment below, and share this video with someone you love, care, and respect. When's the last time you ate a fake strawberry? What's going on in America?
Americans and their food were really strange, but wait until you see what their strawberries look like. Genuinely, their strawberries are inseminated with something. Why are their strawberries white on the inside? Another case in point, they are white. Why is it white? Another example of what the strawberries look like. I'm not going to say what it looks like, but you know what I'm thinking. I might head over to America in a minute. What? Why are they white? Is a side-by-side of what our UK strawberries, is that what they're called? I don't know, English strawberries look like? Versus America. They are definitely putting something in them. Strawberries are meant to be juicy, succulent, red. Americans, I hate to tell ya, But I think they're putting something in your strawberries because that is not a strawberry. It's just not. It's not. Why is it white in the inside? What the hell is going on over America? I would love to go over there, but seeing this is what fruits look like over there, I'm concerned about what they're injecting into those.
They don't love us. That's why. They just giving us anything. Those are severely underripe, or I don't even know, not in season. I encourage everyone to grow all their own fruit and vegetables if you can. Use that electroculture if possible. Throw some copper rods down.
These 3 coils here, if you make this coil and wrap copper wire or galvanized wire and have 4 or 5 inches, a little antenna sticking out at the top, put it in the ground 5 or 6 inches, it will do something electrically and magnetically to the soil that is beneficial to the microorganisms in the soil, and it energizes it. You're supposed to get bigger crops and make things a lot better. So I don't know, what have I got to lose? I'm trying to see what happens. I've got strawberries growing here, and we'll see what happens to the strawberries. I bet
you those ain't gonna go white in the middle.
What is the secret to growing giant plants? Do you ever remember seeing pictures of giant cabbages or giant pumpkins? What may have been the secret to growing these vegetables is a lost farming technology known as electroculture. The way that electricity affects plants was first observed in 1746 by a Scottish doctor named Dr. Mainbray. He electrified 2 trees and observed them putting forth new branches in October, something which had never happened before. In 1902, physicist Professor Lemstrom visited Alaska and observed plants growing faster under the aurora borealis. Due to the worldwide shortage of fertilizer, countries like China are investigating the use of electroculture and finding amazing results. They are achieving a 25 to 50% increase in yield with a 75% reduction in fertilizers and pesticides. Let's help spread the word about electroculture farming.
I wonder what frequency the electroculture gives off to the, you won't need any pesticides like the ants and like the flies and mosquitoes or whatever stays on the buzz are just like, nah, that's vibrating too tough. These plants have a purpose. We can't eat it. It's too strong.
It's a couple of weeks since I spoke to you last, and here we have another insane bumper crop of veggies that have come from a handful of plants. And quite frankly, there is no reason for hunger in the world for the sake of a bit of wire and some copper. This came from a courgette plant. How insane is the size of this? This is, you know, the size of the cucumbers we're getting, and they are juicy, they are sweet, they are huge. So anybody can do this for the sake of getting a piece of copper, winding it round a stick or a piece of bamboo, getting a some fat antenna that you can create and shoving it in the ground next to your plants. This is the result that you will get, and I am immensely proud of it. I'm not used to growing vegetables. I've never done it in my life before. This is my first attempt, and I couldn't be prouder. What makes me even happier is that I'm able to take this down to the Chard Hub for the people who don't have gardens, who don't have any food, and we can share this wonderful bounty. So, as I keep saying, Electroculture rocks, and I'm really pleased to be showing you this.
I would be having cucumber water and cucumber on my salads. I would be grilling that squash with some olive oil and some salt and pepper. Man, fresh out the garden. When you take a bite, you can still taste the photosynthesis tingling because you just snapped it from life. It's a difference from something fresh out the garden. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Talk to me.
Landed in Virginia. That's a real story. He landed in 57. He did, in fact, get taken to the Pentagon by a sheriff's department. Very reckless. Very reckless. If it would have happened today, oh, everybody would know. Everybody would have saw it. But they knew that back then, they didn't have cell phones. They didn't have all that. They didn't have a bunch of surveillance cameras. They could do what he did. So he did. And they took him to the Pentagon. And I also know that there was a psyche eval done. And that's what a lot of people, I don't think anybody's ever known that. There was a psyche eval done. And they wanted to know, was this fucking guy crazy? Because he said he was an alien. Take me to the Pentagon. So they took him, but they said they took him under guard with a psych evaluation. And the psych evaluation came back inconclusive. They couldn't get the instrument to work. Whatever they were using, I don't know what it was, whatever they used back then. But they said it was inconclusive. They couldn't get the instrument to work. I remember that. So they decided to hear him out. And then after 36 hours, people think they just went straight to the White House. They did. It was between 35 and 40, but I'm just say 36 hours of interrogation, straight interrogation. They were convinced. And they said, we need to take this guy to Eisenhower. But really what they were doing was taking that guy to MJ-12. And Nixon was there. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Nixon's been there since Roswell. He's been involved in all of this. A lot of people don't know that. So they took him to the White House in 57, and he offered a deal. He said, listen, you can bring your entire civilization into the Galactic Federation of Light, and we will bring you in, and we will travel the galaxy with you. We will give you all this technology. We'll improve the technology you're currently working on with other species and civilizations. We know about it. But you have to do two things. One, you have to give up your nuclear weapons. Two, you have to be one government. Because one of the requirements for the thousands of civilizations that's already in the GFL is you have to reach a maturity level as a society socially. And what that is you have to put borders and petty differences to the sky. Otherwise, you're not mature enough to be part of it. So they said, or he said, you have to put down those borders. You have to become a one world government. And that is where all. So we told him, listen, we already have a contract with a civilization, and it's a 70-year contract. And if we break that, there's going to be problems. And we know there's going to be problems. We can't break it. We just can't. But what about when it runs out? And they spent 3 years negotiating. 3 years. Till 1960 when he left. And that 70-year contract was struck in 1954 with ETE-1 from the Rigel star system, type A, B, C, and D. There's 4 different types of grades from the Rigel star system. And that was 2,200 American citizens per year in exchange for technology. And the fucked up thing is, we ended up getting very close with ETE-2 without an abduction contract, and they're even more advanced. And they gave us all the gifts and technology, Bluetooth, flat screen, touch screen, all that came from that. Even text messaging came from reverse engineering their interstellar communications device, where you got to hit the same key over and over to circulate through the letters. That's where we had text messaging back in the late 90s on the little flip phones. That's where it came from. And all that, we never had to do. But by then,
That is crazy. Did you hear what he said? They said text messaging, phone pictures, all that was from reverse engineering alien technology. Guys, I know how a lot of you guys feel about outer space, but try to eat the meat and spit out the bones, Think of it like they're beyond the wall if you're on that side of the paradigm. If you're on the other paradigm, fine. He came from Sector 12, Orion's galaxy, Palladian. I'm not mad at you. But they came from far away places. There's 2 different ways you can spin it. However, which paradigm you choose to fall on is what I'm trying to get at. Eat the meat and spit out the bones. This could be people from the Ancestral Republic, if you catch my drift. And they're just spinning it to some Galactic Federation, mess. You see what okay then, he might be from the Ancestral Republic, not the Galactic Federation. You gotta eat the meat and spit out the bones. That's what we do here. You don't know what the Ancestral Republic is? Oh man, that's for another video.
He, as an MJ-12, decided, and through the Magi Committee, decided it would be a good idea to bring other species in and continue to cherry pick the best technology from all these civilizations, all these star systems, in exchange for United States citizens, and then through the U.S., citizens around the globe. It came over 22,500 citizens out of the United States every single year as of 2012. And that had been that already for a while. And worldwide, we're talking millions. A lot of people that go mental is part of that. 57 Valiant Thor landed.
Could he be from the Ancestral Republic? It's a possibility. It makes it hit a lot harder when you think about that theory, huh? He doesn't have to be all the way out in Sector 12. He can be already here on Earth. This is just a theory, of course. This entire video is just a theory for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research and come up with your own conclusions on everything. If you made it all the way through the video, the code word is Tuesday Vibes. Go ahead and drop Tuesday Vibes in the comments below. Lets me know you made it all the way through the video. And I just want to say thank you. Your support means the world to me. And I just can't wait to see you tomorrow. This was the most disturbing videos on the internet today. See you tomorrow.